Holy shit, there was defense and team moments that actually happened this time in the challenge. Can you believe that?
I gotta say, I wonder if they're not watching the show because, they listen to you. I can't deny that.
They kind of did. I feel like sometimes when you bitch really loud, sometimes maybe people listen. I'm sure there was other people doing the same thing.
Yeah, there were. But hey, that's okay. You were one of them. So
yeah, I was. And you know what? It felt really nice to like scream at the trees like an old man and then actually have the trees respond. It was actually kind of a nice feeling. So to see, what was it? I don't even remember how many defensive moments. And again, I wasn't asking for the world. I just wanted some of them involved. And it was nice to see the team moment. I like how they did the Giants or Cowboys. Like, you didn't know which one it was going to be, so there was a little bit of a guess to it, but it wasn't like anything super complicated, and it didn't.
No, but that was pretty ballsy in the sense of like, I mean, there's only 6,000 or 7,000 of those, so I mean, that's
right.
It was one or the other. So those were that definitely boosted the value of those moments for a little bit, and
it did.
So I like it. I mean, hey, I think these challenges, I think if you collect, and I know I've said this wrong before, so I will clarify myself here and say, if you collect all of the commons, not just the base set, which we know is more, there's the common SEs, you can complete 100 yards pretty much every week. You don't need a rare to do it. Like, they help, they'll make it easier, but if you just have all the commons, which again, not cheap, not saying it is, but again, it's, this isn't, you're not supposed to get a 5-star pack if you only got 40 moments. Sorry. Like, it's the 5-star packs are for the people who are collecting everything. So there's got to be a payoff for the people who are really going after it.
Well, I'd like to announce that instead of doing the pack drop this time around, I said, fuck it. And I did go out and I got all the commons. And I wanted to make sure that I had them all because I felt like I went half and half and it was just not doing me justice. So I am officially in the Commons Club, and I'm happy that I'm there, and it's like it's a done deal, and I can officially move on. And I'm guessing most of the challenges now will require like multiple rares and legendaries. But hey, at least I'm there for right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's going to be a challenge at some point in the season that's going to do that, but. One of the people in our comments actually had a really good idea, which was if you have a rare or a legendary, instead of getting 15 yards, like a rare would get you 20 yards or a legendary would get you 25 yards. And I thought that was a pretty good idea. Like, doing something like that might be good, but
I like that idea.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was pretty smart. So.
Yeah, I thought that was
sorry, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember the guy's name. So I apologize. I can't give him credit, but.
I will look that up. But while I'm looking that up, why don't we get into why don't we just get into the pack drop today? Because I want to yell at some trees, but let's go ahead and start with the upside to the pack drop. If you want to maybe run down, because you were a little bit more in the pack drop. I actually, like I said, kind of skipped on it. So
got lucky I got lucky and got in the rare queue. There was probably about, I mean, again, we don't know how many people were serious buyers, just because there was you could earn 10 yards for the challenge by just participating. So I think a lot of people were just kind of in the line to be in the line.
Sure.
But nonetheless, I got in line for the rare drop. So I was curious to see how that worked. It was, I didn't like, so they changed it, which I thought was really good. They had, originally it was, $279 for the moments, and it was like 6 common, or it was the 8 common or 6 common, and
it ended up being 8.
So it was 6 commons, 1 guaranteed rare, which could be a legendary, and then 1 moment that could be either a common SE, a rare, or a legendary, and that was priced at $279. And I think a lot of people saw that and were just like, that just doesn't make financial sense. And so I think some old men screamed at some trees, to your point.
Yep.
And they came back, revised it down to $219, and you were guaranteed 2 rares. So it was basically, you got the 6 commons, you had a guaranteed rare, and then you had a guaranteed rare or legendary. So didn't get lucky enough to pull a legendary, pulled 2 rares. I got a Davis Mills, and I got a Duvernay from the Ravens. So not great pulls, but not not terrible pulls.
Right. I saw you got a decent
worse.
serial on Davis Mills, but again, I mean, if he's throwing 55 picks a game, it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, and then in my commons, I did pull 2 Drake Londons, which right now is the highest priced common out of the series too, and he's played really well, so can't complain too much. I think for what I probably about broke even for what I paid for the pack as of right now. So, again, for the sensation of ripping a new pack, it was worth it. So, no major complaints there.
Got it. Hey, I just want to go ahead and go back to the challenge really quick, or not the challenge, but the idea that somebody had on YouTube comments, and that was Joseph Carlos. He was the guy that kind of pitched the idea, and he was actually one of the guys that said he made it to the end of the episode. So I congratulate you. Yeah. Congratulations. We appreciate that. We'll give you a shout out at the end, see if you make it to the end again. That's asking a lot, but we'll see if you do it.
It was a marathon episode last time. You were on one, man.
Well, I'm about to get on one again. So,
well, all right, buckle up, because I mean, I will say this: it did, for as long of an episode as it was, it did generate a lot of comments. A lot of people had things to say, which was good. It's always good to hear other opinions. But
it is.
But yeah, let's buckle up. What do you got to say today? What's on your mind, man?
Okay, well, let me just go ahead and start by saying this, and let me pull up my notes, because I was mad enough that I needed to write down a few notes about this.
You actually wrote notes.
Well, maybe I did like a text dictation type of thing, but let's just let's not get into specifics here.
Okay.
The pack drops.
Yeah.
When the fuck are you going to get this shit right? I mean, we're out of beta. It's like
we're not. We're not. We're in open beta. We're still in beta.
Well, I don't give a fuck what we're in. It's like this has been going on long enough. It's like, seriously, it's like, get your shit right. It's like this is turning into like a full-time job. It's like I'm watching this pack drop shit. I tried to get in. Like, here's my story. Okay, here's my story. I like to hear it. Here it go. I tried to get in on the first pack drop. Right, I didn't get in. That's cool. But like we get the whole like delay thing. We're in. We're out. Then they start the second drop while the first one's still going on. And so then everybody...
That's not true.
I was still in the queue. Now, I wasn't going to get a pack, but I was still in the premium pack, and there was like probably like 85, 90 packs left. And then I got an update that said, jump on into the standard. And then I saw something that came out later that said that they had made an exception for like people getting in. So I believe they did. Quote, somebody
it was really close, but I'm
telling you right now.
Here's what I'll say.
Go back to Twitter and look at it. They put out a message. You will see.
I know they did, but I'm just saying that personally, I looked at when I looked like on my browser or whatever, when there was originally 15 minutes left in the waiting room of the common pack drop. I looked at the other pack drop and it said it was done. So. Again, was there overlap for some people? Yes, because not everything refreshes at the same speed. Things get cached, things get stuck. So yes, I guarantee there were some people out there who were still thinking they were active in the queue.
I was out there.
And all that. Yeah,
I was out there.
I believe you, but I'm just saying I do think the queue was finished. But nonetheless, anyway,
we'll come back to that. Either way, nonetheless, then like the one finishes and I get into the next one, and then we start going through all these delays, and it's like delay,
Line
and it's
pauses.
like, okay, come on.
Sure.
So finally, yours truly comes up ready to buy a pack, and I'm clicking.
For the rare or the common pack?
For just the common pack, just for the regular
pack.
old,
okay.
the $59 pack. I click buy the pack, and what happens? Nothing happens, and I'm like, okay, so I'm like, I got money in the Dapper wallet, I'm good to go. Then I see a little banner come up and says, we're hitting technical difficulties. What ends up happening is I lose my spot in the queue because somehow I managed to click about the same time that this whole thing crashed. So it's like they thought that I was in. I get like a thing on my my bank account that says you made the purchase. I'm thinking maybe I made it. The pack would show up later. Sure as shit, I get no pack. Now, obviously, my bank will be straight now, and I'm not worried about that aspect of it. But it's like I've spent all this time. I've invested all this time trying to like get into like the first one, which I'm cool. I knew I wasn't probably going to get into that. Then I wait for the second one. I go through all these delays, and then it's like I go through that problem. It's just like, it's not even, like I said, it's turning into like a job, because I mean, the one thing I'd like to say on behalf of all of us out here is that, most of us work for a living. Most of us do things during the day. And it's like, it's one thing to like put yourself in the queue, kind of wait and hold off and whatever, no big deal. But it's like when you start getting into these delays and like you're in, but you're not in, it's like, did I get my pack? Did I not get my pack? It's like, come on. I have higher expectations at this point in the game. No pun intended. I feel like they should be further along. We should be past this kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's because they try to do the half an hour versus the full hour. I don't know if they're trying to put too much on their plate. Maybe they should just stick to one pack drop instead of doing multiple pack drops. Maybe they're just trying to do too much. I have some technical background. I don't know, like a lot of what goes into this. I'm sure there's a lot, but it's like, if you can't do it, don't do it. Just stick to one pack.
Before they went to open beta, it felt like a couple of those pack drops, a little bit ago. Like I want to say it was maybe one of the historical ones, and the one before that, they went super smooth. Like, I thought, wow, like it seemed like everything was like on the right track. And then it's like, as soon as they announced open beta, it was like, they haven't hit a pack drop right since. So I get it. I mean, there's people out there who are timing their workplace dumps to make sure that they get in line and get that there, because they're not allowed to have, phones out probably, wherever they're working.
Sure.
So there's a lot of people who are probably pissed off right now about that, and rightfully so. But again, it is a beta, and this is, as much as it's like it sucks, it's like that's the downside of a beta. Yeah, but it sucks. It still does.
It's an open beta at this point. I thought
it's open beta at this point.
Okay, I thought they were done with the beta. My bad.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, either way, I feel like they should be past this. I don't feel like we're gaining ground. I feel like we're losing ground at this point, and it's just, I don't know. I think there's probably a lot of other people that feel the same way, and I get it. They're not going to get everyone right, but it feels like they're just like tripping and falling every single time. It's like we're in the middle of the season. It's like now is crunch time. You need to get it right. So, take it one pack at a time. Do a pack drop on like a Tuesday, then do one on a Thursday. It's like, spread it out if you need to, but stop trying to do all this shit in one day and then just really fucking it up, because you're making the product look bad. It really I get to the point where like today I was just like, you know what, I don't need a fucking pack. It's like, why am I even? I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna buy a pack because I'm a junkie like the rest of you. But there's a point where you're kind of say to yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I spending all this time? It's just easier to go to the marketplace. I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to waste my time in line. And it's like, half of us aren't pulling the legendaries we hope to pull anyway. So it's like, anyway, I said my piece on that one. Do you want to go ahead and weigh in a little bit on that?
No, I think you're right. I think they need to, I think it does need to be smoother, and I'm sure that that's what they're working on, but you're right. It's like, it's annoying. It sucks. It's, it's a pain, and these are the things that add up, right? So it's like, this is the stuff, it's like right now it's fine and such, but it's like when if you keep getting things like this wrong, people lose interest in the product, or the NFL finds another company that can execute, or who knows what happens, right? So I think we all want this product to succeed, and so it's like we're on the side of it, but yeah, it's tough to, it's tough. Like it's, I get it. I work in that, arena as well. I work, with development teams and design teams and things like that, and so. I know how it is. It's like, you try, you do things, and then shit happens. Like,
shit happens.
I'm sure whatever it is, it's like these crazy server configurations where it's like someone, forgot to set this thing and it propagated out and just like caused this whole shit show. And so, it's just dumb stuff like that. But I get it. I totally get it.
Don't you think they're doing like, kind of like test run throughs where they're like, they're doing like a dummy run through. They're probably doing this multiple times, and it's like I don't understand why. This is like, how many pack drops have we had? We've got to be in like the double digits by now. Easily, maybe even like into like the 20s by now.
Yeah.
Have they not learned from the mistakes, or are they repeating the mistakes? Maybe if they came out and they were more transparent about, hey, like, we fired Jimmy because, he sucks. So we've got somebody new. So, bear with us. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like we're all investing a lot of money. And so this kind of leads me into my next thing. And that is that I would like to see us have the ability to take these moments and put them in our own wallets and pull them from Dapper. Like I've seen an interview with the guy who runs Dapper, and he had mentioned that's something that they're looking to do in the future. And I feel like with the way they're kind of handling themselves right now, like if they keep tripping and falling, it's like our moments are stuck with them. We're investing all this money. It's like, I think at this point, maybe it'd be a good idea for us to kind of handle our moments ourselves and have them in our wallet. So that way we're not dependent on like kind of what's going on, because right now it seems like they're kind of fumbling their way through it. And I know they're doing a great job, but there's definitely some room for improvement. And it kind of like, I don't want to say it scares me, but it kind of like makes me kind of like hesitate just a little bit. I love the project. I'm all about the project. I'm knee deep in it, but it's got to be reciprocated on, it's got to be a two-way street. So yeah, they gave me defense and they gave me team moments. So I'm forgiving them. But at the same time, it's like, get your shit together, friend to friend. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it's like it's just some of the basic stuff that they got to get down. So I agree. I'm not as big of a like. I'm fine with keeping it on chain right now. I think, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later about why, and I'll explain why I want to keep it on chain. But okay. So I'm not as big about that. But yeah, at the same time, it's they got to do a better job of just quality wise. So
got it. I would like to mention something really quick. We have joined Spotify. So now we're out there if you would like to watch our episodes on Spotify versus YouTube. Yeah, we're going to be out there. I think we've got a couple episodes out there right now. So please follow us out there. Join us. We're also on Twitter. I know a lot of people are following us there, but if you're not, join us there. And we're on YouTube and a couple other places, but those are the three main places. And we also have a website. The domain is what?
Alldayunpacked.com.
Alldayunpacked.com. So check us out there. Just kind of see what we're about. So what shall we get into next?
So I'm going to kind of do a subject change here for you and just jump into the news that I thought was really kind of cool, which was this audio edition that they're adding to the moments. So they announced, and it went kind of under the radar just because there's so much going on. But there's going to be, they're going to have the like all day analysts where they have like Tony Gonzalez and Richard Sherman and then other people, like some of the rookies and such, but they're going to like break down the play that you're watching the moment of. So there's going to be like audio tracks now that go with these NFTs, which I think is a great idea.
Wait a minute. You mean the music might be gone?
No.
Are they going to do it over
you're
the
opening
beat?
the pack. This is.
Oh, okay.
You'll still have your music. No, you still have your pack opening music. You're okay. This is more around the moments. But I bet. I mean, I could see them adding music to these as well. But
possibly.
The thing that I thought was really interesting was that they have this surprise audio down here, which could be some of the most prominent voices in the game. So I'm assuming they're probably working on securing partnerships with announcers, people that. Like a Gus Johnson that people really like, or maybe a, I'm trying to think of like who else is like, just probably some of the names, maybe some of the more like kind of, the big names like the Al Michaels or maybe, Greg Olson or someone like that. But it's interesting. I'm glad to see that they're starting to add some different dimensions to the product. They're learning, they're moving forward. I think audio is a great addition for these products.
I would love it. One of my favorite things would be is if they could get the play-by-play from the TV broadcast. If they could somehow, I mean, I'm sure that would probably cost them, but that would be fucking badass if they could get the some of those like with like Kevin Harlan and like some of those guys. It's like, I mean, that adds like such a dimension to it.
There is audio in the drop this time. So like for instance, like the Drake London moment had audio on it. The Garrett Wilson.
Is it the actual broadcast?
It depends on the moment, and then some of the Legendaries have audio as well. So
okay. I mean, I remember the Ultimate Brett Favre had like a voiceover, kind of like a storybook kind of thing. I mean, like when you watch a play, it's like there's something about hearing the actual audio from the play. It just makes you kind of puts you there a little bit more. But yeah, go ahead and bring one of these puppies up. I'd like to check it out. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so what I was going to say would be really a nice filter here. I think that we're going to see coming in the future on the marketplace is going to be an audio filter. So like we'll be able to see ones with audio versus ones that aren't. So looking forward to seeing that on the
sure
on this. All right, so we'll pull up Series 2 moments, and let's find one here. So like I said, we can pull up the Legendaries. I was going to try to find like the Drake one. Here he is. So listen. So it's Drake London himself. Can you hear this?
I cannot. But I see his picture down below, so I assume that... I mean, I think that's kind of cool, like if he's kind of talking through the play. That's cool.
So yeah, so it's audio from the post-game conference that they use there. So probably just because of the rights, I would assume. But let's go look at the Legendary really quick. And I think it was the Jets moment.
Is the Jets moment? I haven't seen it yet. Is that the Browns game?
It is the Jets-Browns game, yes.
Nice. That one. Yeah, that was definitely... That is the...
So this is Tony Gonzalez
Legendary.
actually doing a voiceover.
Okay. Yeah, I can't hear it, but...
Oh, you can't hear it?
I cannot. No, I couldn't hear the other one either, so...
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you can pipe it in, but... So it was... So anyway, it is... sorry, you can just cut that part.
No, I'll pipe it in there over the top so people can hear it.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's so some of the moments it's like the player himself talking over, and it's the post game comments, and then for this, like for instance, for the Jets, it was Tony Gonzalez, just kind of talking about the play, like the play in general, and just like the stuff in general. So
sure.
I think it's a great first step. I would love to see them, like you said, I'd love to see them get audio rights to the game, even the radio. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know about you. I love when I see highlights from TV and hear the radio call with it. That's one of my favorites. I mean, I know that's probably the most expensive way to do it, but the
you think so?
Just the I don't know.
I would think that maybe the radio would actually be the cheaper way to go, because I feel like then you're not dealing with like these big broadcast companies.
Yeah, maybe.
You're
I don't know,
with,
but
like, teams on more of a local level.
Most of the radio stations now are owned by the bigger company, like are owned by big broadcasts.
You're probably onto something there.
But nonetheless, I think it would be like, that would just be amazing. But I think, again, this is a great first step. Having the player in their own words. I would love to like see them, especially with some of these players that they have partnerships with, to see them like, just have them do like their own audio. That may have been, they have a partnership, I want to say, with, what's his name? Is it Wilson? I think. And so I wonder if they maybe got Garrett Wilson.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious to see if they got his post game conference stuff or his because they have like I think he's like a what's it called? Why is this not
Garrett Wilson?
I know it's not. I'm having technical issues here. Let's just do this. We'll
maybe clear your filters.
Do this. All right, there he is.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sounds like this is like it's audio from like kind of a conversation with Garrett Wilson. So again, not specific audio to the play itself.
Got it.
More just like generic audio. So I'd love to see, if they can start getting more like specific audio to it.
Right. But it's a very good first step. Like, so awesome. I want to make sure and give them credit for like being creative. No. And it's like, I think they probably had to test it before they ran out and got the rights to a bunch of stuff. But I mean, I can say that just the idea behind it, once they get the real deal stuff, could be really cool,
Yeah. So I mean, love,
even if they
again,
I was gonna say, even if they faked it and put in like the old baseball bat like that, kind of fake the crowd or whatever, just something to get you hype,
Yeah, no, the audio I think it just takes the product to another level. So I'm excited. Yep. I'm looking forward to seeing how they grow that aspect of it, in the future series. And I think this is a great way to again, there's no audio in series 1. I don't know if they're going to go back and add anything to those moments. That may happen or may not. I probably says in the text, and I didn't read it close enough, but I love that this is part of season 2, so that it gives season 2 or series 2 a distinguishing factor. And sometimes that's been a problem in Top Shot, right? Where you see series 1 was the coveted series, and then 2 and everything just has this huge drop off. So I'm hoping that they're doing this kind of stuff and being smart.
Right. One of the things that I did notice, and besides the audio, I think that's a great addition. One thing that I did notice that I felt was a little bit of a drop off is I see a lot of the same players coming out again and again and again. It's does Davis Mills really need another moment? I don't think he does. I liked seeing Geno Smith. Now, Geno Smith is not probably going to be a staple at starting quarterback, but I'm good with that. Cade York, he's a different guy. Bring it on. Yeah. These guys maybe aren't the best guys, but Drake London, you got all the, you don't want to spill all your rookies out at the beginning.
Right.
But I feel I'm going to take my team, the Jaguars, and I'm going to kind of look at it from that aspect. I mean, you take, if you filter by Jaguars and you sort it out. So if you wouldn't mind just bringing up just go to the Jags and filter it out.
By season 2 or just by all Jags?
By all Jags.
Okay.
Now again, they got Jamal Agnew, they got James Robinson, and he got a second moment. I think that's fair. They got the punter. I think that's great. They got Josh Allen, they got Tyson Campbell, they got Trevor Lawrence, and now they got Trayvon Walker. Christian Kirk, I mean, here's what I would say. Christian Kirk got traded. So it's if you're going to do a second one of somebody, maybe it'd be a good idea to do Evan Ingram or Christian Kirk, 2 guys that got traded to the team, that are staples. And also maybe adding a Chase on, Kavion Chase on, or adding Lloyd, Devin Lloyd, who's Lloyd
will get a moment, but like you said, they're not going to blow all their rookies in week, in release.
I'm not saying they should, but what I'm saying is, my point is that simply that I feel there's the beauty of football, the difference between football and basketball, and nothing against basketball, but is that there's so many more players to select from, but I feel they're still they keep going to the same guys. It's we don't need more of the same guys. Take a break from them.
Okay, so I agree with you. I think that there should be some diversity, but at the same time, every season, you're gonna get Trevor Lawrence every season. People want Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? So
do they want
he's
Davis
gonna
Mills?
be what's that?
Do they want?
If
Davis
you're a Houston
Mills?
Texans fans, you want Davis Mills. Yeah, I mean he's
Another
your guy.
Davis
you mean
how many moments? Look up Davis Mills. How many moments has that motherfucker got? I mean,
3.
Even Davis Mills is probably yo, you probably want to just relax a little bit. It's I've only played
Davis Mills. He has 3 moments.
Does he? I thought he had 4.
Does he have a common?
He's got a common, doesn't he?
Oh, then maybe he's got 4 then.
He's got a 3-banger.
Yeah, you're right. He's got a, so he has 4.
Davis?
4. No,
he's
3.
got
So there, 3. He's got 3.
Okay. All right. So is that the new one right there?
Yeah, there's the new one right here.
Okay, so that was a rare. Okay.
Right, and he had a legendary last season, and he had a common last season, which I thought was a rare, but it was a common SC. So yeah.
Got it. I was under the impression he had 4. I take Davis. I'm sorry. Take it back. Okay, if he has 3, I think that's fair. But I do feel some again, I'd like to see again, Dalvin Cook. How about a common? Do we need another Najee Harris moment? Do we need another Mac Jones? I mean, I thank God they didn't do another Mac Jones.
Well, Mac Jones ain't getting any more moments for a while.
No shit.
So.
But is there a common Ezekiel Elliott?
Not yet, but there will
be. They did do a Pollard, which I was happy to see.
A common Pollard was nice.
But do we need 4 Najee Harrises? I mean, the guy's only played 20 downs of football. I mean,
I mean, okay, so here I'll say this: here's what you had. You had last year, he had a common, a rare, and a legendary. I could see him having a common, a rare, and a legendary this year. Like, he won't get any more common. Like, let's hope he doesn't get any more commons this year. But, like, he should, like, he's a star player for that team. He should get multiple moments every season. I just think that's the way it's going to be.
How about a Mitchell Trubisky or a fucking Pickett?
You got to do something to get a moment, man. Mitchell Trubisky's not doing a lot.
the quarterback.
Yeah, but
I mean, Geno Smith got one.
Yeah, Geno Smith is like, Geno Smith had a great first game. Like, he played very well that first game.
Okay, but
Mitchell Trubisky's not playing.
You need a quarterback for every team. You kind of do. And I think what they're doing is they're kind of holding off, thinking that Trubisky's going to get replaced.
Mitchell Trubisky because they're going to see if Pickett gets in, and then they're going to drop his rookie moment. Yeah, I agree. Because
they got Andy Dalton's got a moment on the Bears.
That's true. Well, so if Mitchell Trubisky goes back to the Bears, he'll probably get a moment then.
Yeah. The Red Rifles got one on the Bears, yet you don't want to, you want to wait for Trubisky on the Steelers. Now, I get it. I think they could at least make the Pickett one. You gotta think he's gonna get it at some point.
He will, but but to your point, Cooper Rush got a moment pretty quick. I mean, he came in.
He did.
He came in and played one game in week 2, and got a win that they weren't supposed to get, and so he got a moment. Again, if Mitchell Trubisky goes out and balls out in a game, he'll get a moment. I think they're just waiting, hoping that he'll actually get like a worthwhile moment.
How about this? They gave Jimmy G a rare. How about Daniel Jones? Does he got a rare? Daniel Jones, so. As far as I know, he's got one common. Dude was at $7 for the longest time, and all of a sudden, the Giants come out firing, and now he's up to $20-some bucks.
15 now. After that Monday night performance, it's back down to 15.
Well, there you go. But anyway, I mean, Davis Mills has 3. Daniel Jones has 1. I mean,
Davis Mills is a rookie, though. So let's take a break here. Davis Mills is a rookie last year. No, Davis Mills is a rookie last year, so he got extra moments. There's no question.
Let's talk about some of the other quarterbacks. Okay, Joe Burrow's got enough.
Joe Burrow's got plenty.
Let me get up the NFL here.
Oh boy, he's all right, folks. When he digs out the NFL list, you know we're in for it now. Like, this is not.
I'm like Randy. The pants are coming off here. If you're Trailer Park Boy fans. Let's see. That might be a little bit of a stretch. Let's see. Okay. Steelers need a quarterback moment. I think, and maybe he got one, but I think Jacoby Brissett has done enough to earn himself a moment.
That I agree with. Jacoby Brissett I think he's actually one of the, I want to say, I think I read a stat that he's 6th or 8th in the league passing right now. He deserves a moment. No question. He's played very well.
So it's early on. Right. He should get one.
I agree.
Let's see. I feel like, here's the thing. Baker Mayfield's now the starting quarterback of the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a common as the Panthers. Maybe do a low count Panther common. I could see that happening.
He's already got a common from last year, though. So again, they're waiting until Baker Mayfield's going to have a game this season where
Najee Harris has got a second common. He was hurt most of last year, wasn't he?
No.
Oh, I thought he was. Okay, anyway, let's move on.
Not most.
Davis Mills
he was hurt for a few games, but not most.
Justin Fields has got 3 now, right?
He's got a rare. No, he's got a rare and a common. That's it. Just 2.
Okay, here's one. How about a Matt Ryan common?
Yeah. How about a Kirk Cousins common?
Yeah, these guys, again.
Kirk Cousins, I felt like Kirk Cousins should. I mean, they gave the legendary to Justin Jefferson for having such a great game against the Packers, but Kirk Cousins could have he could have got a common. I mean, again, I think that's why he didn't get it, because they gave, again, you look at this list too. I mean, they're only making so many moments. They got to hit all the teams. So Pittsburgh.
Who did they hit from the Vikings? Who got who?
Justin Jefferson Jefferson had 180 something yards. He had a huge day.
So would they give him a rare?
No, they gave him a legendary.
I thought he already had a legendary. Is that his second legendary? See, this is the kind of shit I'm talking about. That's going to lead me to my next topic. I'm going to write this down. Hold
on. Where is Minnesota? Did Justin Jefferson not? Oh, wait, he's not. I'm looking at the wrong drop. I'm looking at the...
Oh, Jesus. We need to get somebody else in charge over here.
Oh, He wasn't part of the drop because he was part of the other packs. So
all right, I'm just busting your balls. Who from the Vikings?
Let's just do this here real quick. Let's go season 2 or series 2.
Series 2, yeah.
And then you said Minnesota you wanted to see?
Yeah, please.
Wow, you're being awfully polite today.
Yeah, it's because I'm about to rain down.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson, he got a 79 legendary. So yes.
Okay, so let's go to Minnesota Vikings moments.
Let's see how many. You mean just all Minnesota Vikings?
Just all of them. Yeah.
So you got Dalvin Cook, you got Blake Lynch, you got Adam Thielen, you got Smith Marsette's not with them anymore. He's on the Bears. You got a legendary Stephon Diggs, but that's a historical. Williams a historical. Culpepper historical. Barr, Bradbury. Cousins has 2 rares.
Bradbury is the best moment that the Vikings.
The Bradbury moment's fantastic. Yeah, I love that moment. KJ Osborne.
Okay.
KJ Osborne's got a common and a rare. I mean,
Well, yeah, I like the fact. Oh, there it is. 2 fucking legendaries. Why? Like, I don't understand. We don't need like an overabundance. Like that's what's killing. That's what's going to make it more like Top Shot, in my opinion. Nothing, no disrespect, but it's like stop making all these fucking legendaries. I don't know if he's
like one of the top. I mean, you think about the receivers in the NFL. He's probably one of the most loved receivers in the NFL. So
okay, but I get that, but just I think the amount of legendaries they are making, it's just too many. Just stop. Like we don't need 2 guys or a guy with 2 legendaries. It's like we're barely into the second season and we didn't even start at the beginning of last season. And you've already got like a receiver with 2 legendaries. That's too many legendaries.
I mean, Justin Jefferson had his best, I believe, wasn't that his best day career-wise? Most yards he'd ever had in a game?
I know, but does he have a rare?
No, I don't.
I mean, then it would make sense to make it a rare. Again, it's like the way I look at it.
How do you make a guy's best day ever is rare? Like that just doesn't make sense. Like
I mean, because
he outdid it. He outdid himself. That was a legendary performance.
Then they need to come up with something like a trade-in method where they say, "Hey, man, sorry, we're swapping this one. Yeah, you get upgraded for free or something like that. We're upgrading his legendary. I mean, seriously, they just got to stop. Or they can. I don't know if they can add to it or what they can do, but they need to come up with some type of deal where like they stop putting out so many for one player. It just people. If you agree with me,
I hear you.
Comment
on this shit. At the same time, what it does. Okay.
Comment on this shit.
You agree with them,
too many legendaries for one guy. We don't need that.
But here's what I'll say.
I'd rather see a guy get a common or rare.
It makes the legendaries more affordable for the player. But is that who cares? Like, why do you care? You aren't collecting legendaries anyway, so why do you care if it's devalued? Like, what does it matter to you if a legend? Like, I feel like they're trying to make it so that legendaries are more in that $1,000 price range versus like the $4,000, $5,000, $2,000, $7,000 price range. Like that. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not what they're trying to do, but it's just like I think they're trying to make it so that it's accessible to people. But if you want to collect something that no one else has, buy 10 Brett Favres and burn them after what he did in Mississippi. Then keep one, and you got yourself a one of a kind.
Got yourself a stew.
Yeah, you got yourself a stew.
I don't know. I feel like legendaries should be somewhat affordable, but I mean, like, there's kind of like this. I don't know what, like when legendaries first came out, like the first go round, it was kind of like, ooh, a legendary. Like you're not going to see many of those, but now I feel like they're like making 99 of them, 79 of them. They're making 2 for one player. It's just, it's like the whole, like they're collapsing everything that was cool about a legendary.
Because what you're talking about is the ultimates. Like the ultimates are like the things that are unattainable. Like everything else, they're making everything else attainable, and the ultimates are what are like the things that are just not attainable for the normal collectors.
I feel like, I mean, I guess my impression is like this: commons are for everybody, rares are for everybody that want to try and get something a little bit more, or for the avid collector. Legendaries are like if you get lucky. And like ultimates is if you got like super, super, super deep pockets and you want to get something that's like unbelievably rare.
Yeah.
Like it's like very special.
Totally agree. Look, here's the thing. Legendaries are still special. How many legendary, like, think about this. Most people have not pulled a legendary in a pack. So
but
they're still special. Okay. Like, it's not like it's not like every time you open a pack, you're like, oh God, another legendary. Jesus, I have to sell this one, I guess.
Okay, well then let me ask you this question. How much is the first Justin Jefferson legendary going for?
The first one?
Yeah.
Is going for.
Go scroll down. He's down at the bottom.
It's right here, 1550.
What's the other?
Oh no, this is the new one. Sorry, that's Series 2. The new one's 1550. The old one's 2500, basically.
2500. Okay, how much is Justin Herbert right now? Rare.
Which the rare Justin Herbert?
It's like eight something, right?
850. Yeah, 850.
Okay. Would you rather have 3 Justin Herbert rares or 1 Justin Jefferson legendary?
I mean, I know where you're going with this.
So, but what I'm saying is, what's more special?
What's more special is the Justin Jefferson.
Is it though?
It is. Yeah.
Would you rather have
even if you add the two together,
two Patrick Mahomes rares, or would you rather have that?
Look. You're using a false argument here. Like,
I like that.
But what I'm saying is, like, you're asking me what I prefer. Like, I'm not a Justin Jefferson, but what I'm saying is this: I hear what you're saying, but you're asking me from an investment standpoint right now. You're like saying, which one would you rather own? Like, if I were, like, I could answer that question differently. Like, if you're asking me that, if I'm an investor, yeah, I would take 2 Mahomes or I would take 3 Herberts over 1 Justin Jefferson, because the market for the market for any legendary, even if it's the rookie debut, like the Trayvon Walkers and the Aiden Hutchinsons that just came out, the market for those is smaller than it is for the rares, and that market is smaller than the market for the commons. Like, that's just the way it is. So so you could ask me, would I take a, Justin Herbert rare right now, or would I take, 14, 15 of his commons? I would take, like, investment wise, I'd take his commons. Those are the ones that, like, so forget rares and legendaries then, if that's your argument.
If you could have any player as a fan, if you could have any player, who would that be?
That is playing right now.
Sure. Saying. If you could, just as a fan, you're what? You're a Bears fan, right? So if you could get any player, like, as just a fan, who would you want to get?
I mean, I wouldn't pick a Bear. Actually, you know what? I'd love to see a Roquan Smith moment.
Okay, Roquan Smith. Now imagine Roquan Smith has 2 legendaries.
Sure.
Would you want both of them?
I don't know. It depends on the plays.
Right. But I mean, like, again, what I'm trying to get at is that Roquan Smith having a legendary, it would be cool to get that because that's the guy you want, right? But then when there's 2, like Trayvon Walker came out with a legendary today. I'm a Jaguars fan. I want that legendary, right?
Yeah.
But if there's 2 of them, then I'm like, I don't really care anymore. It takes the magic away. It's like, it's not a legendary anymore. It's like a legendary light now because there's 2 of them.
I mean, if it was in the same season, I would see you. Yeah, I do. But again, it's not the same season, so I'm willing to say that a player, and I know Aaron Rodgers had 2 last season, but I consider that an exception to the rule. But my just like kind of rule of thumb is that a player should have 1 legendary per season if they are a true stud. And Justin Jefferson is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Come at me, bro. No, I'm just gonna say Justin Jefferson, top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. So he deserves a legendary this year.
Okay. Did he deserve a legendary against the Eagles? Because last time I checked, he caught 1 ball against Darius Slay.
Yeah, well, that was you know what?
Speaking of
who deserves a legendary there? Darius Slay deserves it because that dude was a pro and he just absolutely
Maybe give it to him instead of Justin Jefferson because he's top 5, maybe top 5 yards he got.
Justin Jefferson's a good receiver, but Darius Slay was fantastic in that game.
Yes,
and there's just no question.
You know who is not? Who's got 2 rares? Kirk Cousins.
You know what? That's funny you say that because actually I would put some of the blame on Justin Jefferson in that game. As much as I'm sitting here saying he's a top 5 receiver, he didn't play his best game. He had that pick across, and I'm not the only person that's noticed this, but there's a route he ran in the end zone where he is supposed to cross the face of the defender, and he did not do that, and he left his quarterback out to dry on that one.
Yeah.
So Justin Jefferson did not play his best game. I don't know what I mean.
Correct.
You know, sometimes these guys get in their own heads. They're divas. I don't know Justin Jefferson. I've never met him. I don't know what he's like. I don't know anything about him. All I know is, you know, he just seemed to be frustrated. And I think when players are frustrated, they don't like put in 100% effort. And I don't think he did on that play. And I'm sure he watched that film and felt instant regret and wishes that he would have. So I'm assuming he's going to learn from that game, move forward, and play a whole hell of a lot better in the next coming weeks. So, I'm still saying I still think Justin Jefferson's a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Yeah, he had a bad game, but, you know, moving on, keep it moving. It's you know, everybody has a bad game. So
Sure. Well, I think we've kind of buried the whole legendary thing, but I would like to just close out by just saying that I feel like the legendaries are, to me, like, I wanted a legendary. Like, the idea of getting a pack and getting that legendary, that seemed really cool to me.
Yeah,
but now
I love it too.
That all these legendaries are coming out, and there's like 99 of them, there's 79 of them. I don't really like it's not such a big deal anymore. I think I'd rather hit, like, to me, I'd rather hit the marketplace at this point than like do the whole thing and try and get a legendary, because I feel like, I mean, like, I saw, like, you know, like Trayvon Walker, like people trying to sell him for like a high price, and the price was just dipping, because the whole thing is, I don't think there's too many legendaries and not enough buyers out there. There's not enough people that
there's not enough Jaguar fans, let's be honest. The legendaries are selling.
Hey, there'll be enough in the next couple weeks when they start kicking ass.
Yeah, they're playing well.
You said one game for the Jaguars, and you know, I was getting all crazy. How about 2 now?
I know, that was, hey, I love it. Like, I'm. Hey, I'll admit this to everybody. He talked me into the Jags because Justin Herbert was beat up, which I agreed with. He was like, this is going to be a trap game. I put money on the Jags. I won money on the Jags this week. It's because of this guy. So all credit goes to him for the Jaguar call on that.
I appreciate that.
So I will give you that call. But so thank you. You made me, you know, I didn't put a ton on there, but it's enough to, you know, I can get a Davis Mills now. So appreciate that.
You're probably going to get a legendary.
No, I can get a rare Davis Mills. I put like rare Davis Mills money on the Jags, not legendary. If I had that kind of money, I would be different story.
Yeah, we wouldn't be worrying about the legendaries. We'd just be buying.
No, we wouldn't. We'd be talking about which one we wanted to buy next. So.
Exactly.
Anyway,
exactly.
Dude, I like the Jags. I think if the Jags are doing well, I think they're in a division that is completely up for grabs. They were very underrated. They have good talent on that team. You know, we've talked offline. Like, I love to troll you about the Jags because, you know, that's just the way that I am. But yeah, I'm a believer in Trevor Lawrence. I'm a believer in Trayvon Walker. I am a believer in James Robinson. You've preached the gospel, and I agree. There are some talented dudes on that team, and you know, again, people slept on them so you could get them cheap, and that's what we did.
Easy. Hey, it's easy to sleep on them when their coach is Urban Meyer. So very easy.
That was
so
he needs. You know, we need an Urban Meyer in the bar moment after that one game.
That's leading me to my next thing, and I think they should do a follies, like a football follies, because the butt punt. I feel like the butt punt has to be a moment. Like, it does. Seriously, I would buy that. I would so buy that.
I mean,
would you buy the butt punt?
100%.
I would buy
100%.
Like,
I think most people would. Yeah. I think like, a common there's a Heroes and Heartbreakers moment, but the problem is it's only limited to 4,500. So I think that would actually make the supply really tight, and I think this one would be really sought after. But yeah, I think the butt punt. I'm calling it. It will be a moment. I think it will happen.
All right, we need to tweet that shit out and like get that going, like the butt punt.
Like, yeah, we need to start a petition. Yes, so we
and
are going to
Jimmy
officially
G going out of the back of the end zone. I mean, like a couple of these. I mean, I feel like
the Jimmy G thing. I could live without that one. I wouldn't buy that.
Sure,
but I would absolutely. And I think there is a strong contingent of people who would buy a butt punt moment. And I'm sure the Discord
don't make it a legendary. please.
No. Just make it a comment. I'm sure a lot of people have
comment.
asked for it already in the Discord and such. So it's, like I know there's other people who want it too. But yes, but as soon as we saw that moment, we were all over it and we were tweeting it out and we were, we want that moment. That is a moment right there. So
I almost feel like they should do, and maybe I'm dreaming here, but they should do like some type of like wild card situation with it where it's like a moment, but it's not really a moment. Like, let's say like every so many packs comes with like if you get a 4-pack, four moments in a pack, a 5th comes with it. And it's just like, it's kind of off the grid, like a little bit, like, it's just like a random thing you get. And it's like, it's kind of like almost like the team moments, have like some type of section that's like a miscellaneous and like, just where like if situations like that come up, you can actually make like a moment, like let's say a coach does something that's hilarious or, there's like a fan. You remember the Bears fan who jumped out and caught the field goal back in the 80s or the 90s?
Right.
Like something like that happens, then like you could have this miscellaneous section where I feel like there's a lot of great things that happen in football. And as fans, it's like, yes, there would be no utility and they probably wouldn't be worth a lot. But I think to the collectors, I would love that kind of stuff because again, a lot of the reason I think we're collecting these stuff is we like to remember these cool plays that happen. Like for instance, the Jets legendary moment. That's something that happened in week 2 and you'd probably forget about it in a couple of years, but you can go back and you can say, oh, remember that time where the Jets came back against the Browns? That was a great moment. And that's how you remember this kind of shit. So it's like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I mean, it's interesting too, because I think the butt punt becomes a moment. It'll be funny because it'll be even though it's all Dolphins in the moment, it's probably got to be a Bills moment because it was their pressure that caused the problem. But so it'll be interesting in that the Bills team moment has been like this huge, like kind of expensive moment. So it will probably be a Bills team moment, which means it will this on top of that, plus the fact that it's this like iconic moment. That could be a super valuable moment, especially, again, if the demand is there for it. Plus the Bills fans seem to be crazy on here for, collecting their moments. So that could be an interesting thing. So
I'd like to see the guy who got kicked in the butt. I don't know if anybody's like seen it all on Twitter, but Charmin, the toilet paper company, reached out and said like, something like about, he needs like soft toilet paper for his butt after that or something like that. And this guy was like, his name is Trent something, who plays for the Dolphins, number 14. And he was like such a good sport about it. He was like really cool about it. I feel like, and I don't know if the players get paid for the moment. I don't know if they get like a residual from the moment, but I'd like to see this Trent guy get the moment. So he gets his name out there because it's like he got kicked in the ass. I'd like to see him get notoriety for it because he seems
his
like,
ass gets the moment. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, kind of. It's like he's going to be like the laughing stock of a play for like years to come. So it's like he should get some notoriety for it and get like something for it. I mean, maybe he doesn't want his name attached to it, but I'd like to see that.
I don't think it'll be his name because honestly, it wasn't really about him. It was he did make the mistake of backing up when you're that close. He should have stayed and held his ground and. Things happen, but really it was the Bills' pressure that did that. I mean, honestly,
it was a short
I would love to see. I'd love to see a melt because I want the butt punt and then I want the meltdown of the offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey after the Bills don't get the. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole sequence could be like a melt of just like amazing, like non-football plays, but not traditional football plays, but like. I mean, those two of the most probably memorable things that will happen this season happen minutes apart in the same game, and it was just crazy. And I'll be curious, like in week 15, will we still remember the butt punt and Ken Dorsey's meltdown?
I feel like we'll remember the butt punt, but maybe not the meltdown. But you're right. Meltdown. I mean, like the meltdown could almost be a moment of its own.
It could, but it really can't. But
you're right. I like your idea of the melt. I think that would be that'd be a good piece together right there. Now, I mean, I think it does have to be like a Bills or I don't know, maybe it's a special category, but it's like.
Well, again, I think it goes under that Heroes and Heart. This new thing they have, the Heroes and Heartbreakers or Heartbreaks or whatever. That was a heartbreaker for Bills. I mean, like that was the Bills forced the safety. They were, they were marching down and. Yeah. Josh Allen, they just got good pressure on him, and he had to check down, and the guy couldn't get out of bounds. And they missed by a second. It was, Like they probably would have kicked the field goal and won the game, but we were watching that game. We were riveted, right? I mean, that was an amazing game to watch. So
yeah, that was.
Yeah. It's been a great first few weeks of the season. Is like moments aside, I've been the NFL has been a lot of fun the first 3 weeks of the season. So it's
absolutely,
and that's what makes this even more fun. So there's all these great moments to pick from. Like, I mean, the other thing too is like, you want to talk about kind of boner moments. I know not maybe this is, kind of getting too much into the gambling aspect, but the Steelers at the end of the Steelers-Browns game, they were like within like a touchdown, and they ran this lateral play and accidentally like scored the Browns an extra touchdown, and it cost, millions of dollars because Pat McAfee had done this super boost where it was paying, I want to say it was like paying 8-1 odds, because it was like Nick Chubb scores a touchdown, Najee Harris scores a touchdown, and the Steelers, lose by 7.5 or less. And that was about to hit. It was 9 seconds away from hitting, and it was like, millions and millions of dollars. And then they run that boner play, the Browns falling on the end zone, and all that money just, and I will say this too, like full disclosure, I did take that super boost just because I thought it was a pretty reasonable outcome.
Sure.
And I mean, like what a play to like. And so but like throw the betting aside, it was like, they tried to run the old lateral and the Browns got a touchdown out of it. It was just it was hilarious. So
that was great. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
So hey, I just wanted to pause here and kind of give a shout out to some of the people that have been following us on Twitter. And on YouTube. So A Sanders on Twitter has always been like super responsive. We appreciate you reaching out and commenting and stuff. Daniel Flanagan's always got great comments. The People, we've seen him comment quite a bit. Jose Carrillo, hope I said that correctly. Carrillo, possibly. Those are a couple of the guys that have been, possibly girls, that have been commenting on our stuff quite a bit, and we appreciate the love and you watching our stuff, and definitely much love to you for that. So we appreciate that. So let's move on to the next topic. What do you got? Or I've always got stuff.
I know you do. So I figured you were loaded up here. I wanted to talk about the audio in the year so far, but go ahead. What do you?
Okay. I want to talk about owning sets. I'm going to get a little bit into the weeds here, so let me go ahead and kind of pitch what I'm thinking here, and you can go ahead and comment and kind of rein me in as I scream at the trees. But here's what I'll say is that the collectors are not being rewarded. So there's people who are collecting a massive amount of moments. There's some people who are just buying like a bunch of Patrick Mahomes. That's great, and they're flipping those moments and they're making money at it. But I'd like to see kind of something. I'd like to compare it to almost like Ethereum. If you follow crypto, which I'm guessing probably a lot of people do, I'd like to see, and I don't know if they do it in Top Shot. So I don't know. You'd be like, hey, they do. Okay, but what I'd like to see is as you collect sets, you kind of gain some type of like traction, and that you can stake your sets. And like, let's say you complete Ball Hawks. There's some way to kind of almost lock that down as a set, and you lock it down for a certain amount of time, and you stake that, and you gain like points. Like you become like more of a super user, and you stake that, and the more that you stake, the more Dapper or maybe possible flow from Dapper that you get in return to kind of help fund your wallet. So I'd like to see something where we can take our sets and lock them down, and almost like it gives it more value. Like for example, let's say Michael completes the In the Trenches set. So he's got In the Trenches, and maybe he's one of 7 people, and like, so he can like choose to keep it and sell it individually if he wants to, or he can choose to take it and lock it And if he locks it, it's got to be locked for like maybe a year or something like that. But then he can stake it, and then he can maybe stake, ball hawk, and maybe he can stake like, afterburners as well. And he gains credibility for doing that. And so to me, between burning moments and challenges and for people collecting and locking, I feel like that would take the supply and tighten it up. And the people who are collecting would be rewarded, and they would keep the supply kind of smaller, because the whole thing is we're moving into season 2, and we don't know how much the user base is growing. But the deal is if the user base is not really growing that much, then it's all of us that are going to have to buy all these moments. And if they keep throwing more and more out there, maybe somebody can inform me as to how much the user base is growing, but I'd like to see a way to kind of start locking this stuff down, and kind of like a more of a long-term, like, what is this going to look like in 5 years? What are we doing to kind of help sustain that? And, we're a community here, and I think we all want everything to be, to me, I care about the value. I'm more of like, I like collecting things. I don't want to see it tank, but at the same time, it's not like I need it to go to the moon. I don't need it to be like a 10x. I'm not in it for like the 10x. I'm in it for just to have fun and hope that it maintains its value, and maybe it's worth a little bit more. So it's like, if I wanted to sell a few things, I could do that, maybe to buy a few, whatever. That's more of my goal in this. But I'd just like to see a way to kind of, again, to cement it, to lock it, to give us, to give us a reason. Give me a reason to go out and buy in the trenches, because again, the defense doesn't have a lot of utility, but if I can go and buy all the ball hawks and then I can lock it down and that gives me credibility, then that makes me feel like, hey, then, like I've got more, maybe you get like a vote. Maybe there's like some type of voting system where like, you get more say in what happens, or like some type of stake, or, I don't know, go ahead and shoot me down or expand, or what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, well, so the one thing I'll say, like the one thing that like I would say is that I do believe that they're rewarding collectors now, because if you look at the challenges, if you're a collector, right, and I'm just going to define a collector as someone who's trying to kind of get one of everything, right? So if you're like a one of everything type of person, you're going to have a much better chance of having whatever, again, like I was saying earlier, if you're a collector and you've collected all the commons, then you're in a good position to accumulate more moments. You're probably getting 100 yards, or at least 80 every week, more likely 100 yards every week. So I think there's a reward there, but that being said, I still like your idea of set staking, where, it does reward people for, just kind of keeping moments off the marketplace. I mean, you see this a lot with other NFT projects where you stake them and you are rewarded within like kind of that ecosystem. So I like the idea. I mean, I pulled up really quick too, just like some of the, again, like the common sets I feel are pretty, a lot of people completed those. With the legendaries, not a lot of people are going to complete those. So I felt like the rare was kind of a sweet spot. But like, you look at like in the trenches, there's only 30 people who have completed that.
Right.
Afterburners 36, 47 for locked in ball hawk that you mentioned, which is one of the least expensive sets in the rare. I mean, on a per moment basis, there's 27 moments, and you can complete that for $1,422. So, and only 64 people had that completed. So, so there's some interesting, you look at the numbers or whatever, and a lot of the, again, a lot of these just aren't really high completion rates. Now, some of them are because there's only 4 or 7 moments, but I'm looking at like the big boys here, like launch codes, ball hawk, locked in, afterburners, in the trenches. Those are kind of like the 5 big ones, and you can see here it's like, all less than 100 completions. So, yeah, I mean, I agree that people, whoever can complete those or whatever, they should be doing something to reward them. Right. And the commons as well. Like, like if I pull up the common, let's see, series, I mean, it's a lot more completions, obviously, but, like he called game, move the chains. There's another one, make the stop. I mean, still not a ton, 376, 376, 527, 563. So not,
But these are hundreds of dollars. I mean, we're talking about like for Make the Stop. What is the value of that?
Make the Stop, $428. For He Called Game, it's $253, and for Move the Chains, it's $539.
Right.
So, again, a few, those are a few where I think that those, and even completing, and again, I do now know the difference, so apologies, but completing the base set of commons, is also still a good, like something where you could reward people for that too. I mean, that's, you've collected that base set, sure. You should be rewarded with something. So, staking, I think, and so I thought you were going where Top Shot, I believe, gives you like sometimes you can kind of jump the queue and, get packs earlier. Sometimes you get,
right.
Kind of special treatment in that regard, but, that also, could maybe not work to their advantage. So who knows what they'll do with that.
Right. I mean, I just look at like something like, what is it? Was it Ball Hawks or not Ball Hawks, but In the Trenches is 30 people. Like, what if they sent, I mean, maybe it's a lot, but like, what if they sent 30 people to a football game, just like Shazam, like you got Ball Hawks or you got In the Trenches, like, or we're going to send 30 people a jersey, or we're going to just,
right.
just something pop
like
up.
Surprise,
surprise. Hey, what's up? Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be really interesting if they started like, I feel like that would be really cool, but it would also like, there'd be someone who would be like, oh, if I would have known, I would have, I only needed this one and I was waiting and blah, blah, blah.
I understand.
So
I don't own In the Trenches, so I'm not like advocating for myself. I don't like, I was calling for defensive moments, but I don't own Ball Hawks and I don't own In the Trenches, but I don't care. I like for the guys that do or the girls that do, I'm great if they get it. I don't need everything, but I just want there to be like that mystery and like that feeling like, hey, maybe I should complete it. Because then again, that drives the market upward. Because again, we're not all just worried about the utility of like fantasy and like what's going to happen with the challenge. We're worried about these other things too. And it's like, you've got these partnerships with Patrick Mahomes and all these like, I see Jalen Ramsey, CeeDee Lamb, a signed jersey from these guys. Like it wouldn't mean that much to me, but to other people, they'd be like all over that shit. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, hey, like, send 30 people to a Jaguars game. I think, that would cost you like $115 or something. I mean, maybe not anymore, but back in the day it would.
Well, they got some buses coming back from Martha's Vineyard, so they could just pick people up all the way back to Florida and Texas for games and stuff. So,
yeah. So I'd like to see some of that kind of take place a little bit more, like of the reward system going on, and Anyway, so
I mean, I like it. I mean, I think that's again the more like I love like the I like the playbook challenges. They're fun, they're interesting, but I like the idea of like a variety of ways to reward people. So it fits different people who collect differently. So it's not just, hey, you've got you have to pick the players that have the most sacks and this and this and that. Like again, like reward people who want to like collect a full team set, or reward people who want to collect, like you said, maybe I just love like the Afterburner set or whatever, and that's my jam, and reward those people with that. Or maybe what they do is they get, maybe there's a player in the season 2 of Afterburners, and they just say, okay, we're gonna drop a special Afterburners moment, and anybody who completed Afterburners, we're just going to airdrop it to them for free. The rest are going to go in packs, or I don't know, just things like that. Yes. So, I like the idea of just them mixing it up, and I'm sure. I mean, I guess I'm being hopeful here, but it seems like they're early enough on. They're still playing around with things. At the end of week 2, we were talking about there wasn't enough defense, and you were calling for that, and now we got it in week 3. So.
We got it.
We also know that
let's
there's like,
let's see if it goes to week 4.
Yeah, but I mean, we know that like I would anticipate week 4 to turn back a little bit more towards offense, and I'm okay with that. Like give me variety. Like I like that. Like don't like I love like watching how something new drops and how it changes the market and how different people buy things and how things change. Like a great example is like Jalen Hurts. Like Jalen Hurts has been like playing really well. He was he was like. A few months ago, he was in like that $20 range. He started creeping up in the 30s. He became a member of like a challenge. He went all the way up to 60. And then, after the challenge, people kind of sold him off and he went down to about 45. And I just looked recently, he's back up to 60 already. So it's like crazy how like that challenge boosted, like everybody who was sleeping on Jalen Hurts had to go out and be like, okay, I'll pick him up now and hold on to him now because he's probably going to perform later in the season and you're going to need him again. And so now that's permanently boosted his value across the board. So
sure.
Just like things like that are just, for me are just like infinitely interesting about this market and just how it just like shapes it and just kind of changes the whole landscape for these quarterbacks. Justin Fields, great example. He's played terribly and his moment is way down. Like he's in the 20s now, right? I mean, Elijah Mitchell got hurt. He's been out. He was like like earlier when there was all that preseason hype, he was like a 60, 70, almost $80 moment at sometimes. And now you can get him for in the teens.
Who are you talking about?
So Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just, again, it's just very interesting to watch all this unfold. And then, just see how it turns out. So I'm like, I hope they keep experimenting with things and trying new stuff and, really pushing the limits with it. So I'm on board for it. I'm okay if they fall on their face here and there. I'm not going to, they can have a bad week. So can Justin Jefferson. So it's all good.
Right. Oh, I totally agree. Speaking of weeks, let me just double check my work.
All right.
Where I say, Zach Wilson is going to be back this week.
He
and
is.
What is his moment
next week,
right now?
Right?
I think it's this week.
Oh, I thought he was back. Yeah, no, I thought he was out 4 weeks.
Week 4 pickup. So I saw him at $21.
Might be time to load up on Zach Wilson if you're a believer. $30 he's at now.
Okay, he's at 30. Last night he was at $21, $22. I'm telling you right now, like, all he has to do is, the Steelers are not the best team in the world right now.
Is he starting this week for sure?
What we should expect from Zach Wilson in his debut. Here's why Joe Flacco should start week 4 in Pittsburgh. I think that he's slated. I think it's like still like up in the air, but I think he's supposed to come back. Actually, I hope he doesn't, because if he doesn't, I'm going to load up again on a few more Zach Wilsons, because it's just people are sleeping on him. I think I never want to give too much like advice. People are going to do whatever the hell they want to do, but I'm just saying, if you see a Zach Wilson at $21, to me, it's just like
$21.
He's a 3-banger. First of all, it's his rookie moment.
And he's a quarterback. A 3-banger
and he's a quarterback. And here's the thing. I mean, go out and listen to Chris Sims. Chris Sims isn't a genius, but at the beginning of the season, Chris Sims was saying this guy looked really good. And again,
he did look good at the end of last season too. Yeah. So
he did. And Robert Saleh, like, they had a good draft. Like, some of these guys are starting to pan out a little bit. And you notice the tide's starting to change in the AFC East. You notice the Patriots are going down. The Bills are getting beat by the Dolphins. I mean, there's things are changing. So don't rule out the Jets. And Robert Saleh was saying, he's taking receipts. Yeah. I feel like there's a little bit of comeback in the Jets. I wouldn't like say
the Jets. I mean, look, I don't think the Jets are like going to be a 14-3 team or something.
Nope.
But I definitely could see them getting closer to 500 than people originally anticipated.
Right.
So
or what if Zach Wilson goes up and puts up 300 yards and ends up on the Sunday slate? Then he's going to end up like going up to whatever. I mean, that could happen. That I'm just saying. People are always looking for a bargain. Starting quarterback,
he's
rookie.
Rookie moment. This is a great, like, if you go back, we had our, gosh, I don't know when it was, but we were talking about, and I remember, like, it's on tape, or not tape, it's on video back there somewhere, where I was talking about Jalen Hurts and how people should load up on him. And it happened. So I mean, same thing with him. It's like, this is a low, like, here's the thing. He's not going to go much lower than 21, 20. I mean, even 28. I mean, you can see right here, the floor looked like it was about 21 at his lowest. So it's not a high, even if he goes out and stinks it up, he goes down to what, 21? I mean, it sucks to lose, to lose a few bucks like that, but that's a pretty low risk, compared to buying high on Jalen Hurts right now. Like Jalen Hurts is just balling out. Like he's, he could have a stretch where he has a couple bad games and he might come back down to earth. So I'm with you. I'm always a value shopper. Like I'm always looking for the guy who's a little bit beat down and not hasn't performed and such. And that's where I'm scooping players up.
Right. And how about the fluctuation with Jimmy Garoppolo? Jimmy Garoppolo was at $8, went firing up to 40. Now, he's back down to 20.
Well, because he played like shit.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, and I'm kind of trying to bring up, is that how fair weathered people are.
Oh, let's say, totally.
So let's say his first week in, like he didn't play that well. But what if he plays well? You can, right. So maybe he fires back up to 40. What is he currently at? Is he at 20 still? Probably. I'm guessing he's probably 25 by now. Survey says. If you're still watching now, give us a like and tell us that you're still watching, because I'd like to know how many people watching me. Too. Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. So he's back up.
Javonte Williams is another one. Way down because the Broncos have been kind of like whatever, but it's week 3. Don't overreact. Like he was like $50-$60 moment. The Broncos have been stinking it up a little bit, but I don't know.
The Broncos have definitely underperformed. So the Raiders. You want to talk about the AFC West is. I am so guilty of this. And again, it's only week 3, so there's plenty of time for turnaround. But this could certainly have been one of the more overhyped, overrated divisions of recent history. So
Jaguars, buddy, Jaguars.
Yeah, I like it.
Laying it on your Chargers.
Hey. It's week 3. It's not over yet. You don't crown, Denny Green hasn't crowned anybody yet, so it's all good. It's
what is Noah Fant at?
Ooh, I'll say this. I like Cortland Sutton down here. His rares dropped to 124. This is a debut moment of a good ball player. 17.
Patrick Surtain is dropping as well. And then what is can you scroll up for a second?
Sure.
There was one other one that Noah Fant. What is he?
Fant's at 9, but he's on the Seahawks now.
I know he's on the Seahawks, but again, he's a good player.
Jerry Jeudy, that's not his debut. Jerry Judy's debut is at 15, and Javonte Williams is at 35.
Got it. How about team moments? People speculating on team moments. Did you notice that for the Thursday night game this week?
Oh, are they?
Dolphins, Bengals. Yeah, Dolphins, Bengals. Are they?
I did not know that they were speculating on the team moments.
Yeah, so like all day, this is what we're talking about. It's like you run a couple team moments, and then all of a sudden, now people like the Dolphins moment and the Bengals moment, they're up. Like they're no longer hanging out in the shitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see that, right? The Bengals moment was up to, it was at 20 at one point, and that was a $7, $8 moment for the longest time. What is it? 20.
Yeah, it's up 53%. The Dolphins are up 47%. So yeah, you definitely are seeing a residual effect there.
Yeah. Sure. So again, I know that people were saying that I'm the guy that's loading my bags with defense and team moments, and yeah, maybe I got some of that. Fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, maybe I've got some of that. But the idea is that look what it does for the market. It creates speculation and it boosts the whole damn thing. And I'm more interested in that than short-term gains because, to be honest, I'm not a flipper. I'm more of a collector than a flipper. But that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, so, I think we've. Well, no, I've
got one more, man. Don't try to get off this episode.
All right.
I'm on one. Let's go to the playbook challenge. Is that still viewable on the?
I think it's closed. Or no, it's still open until tomorrow morning.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about it. You don't even have to go. What do you think's up with the trophies? Like, what do you
are they going to mean anything? You mean?
Yeah, what have they said anything? Like the banners, the trophies, the whatever. Like,
Nope.
you don't have to log into your account or whatever like that, but I just was curious what your opinion is on things of that nature.
I mean, the banners, obviously, you can drop them on your
Sure.
profile and things like that. The trophies, you think there'll be like a trophy challenge or something? Like have so many trophies or something, maybe?
I don't know. Like, I was kind of thinking that, they would include the team like ring thing, like the Rams ring or the Jets one or whatever at some point. But we haven't seen that yet. I'm sure we will. But
They said second half of the season, I believe. Okay. Don't quote me on that, but I believe they said in the second half of the season that having the Rams legendary moment would give you early access to a legendary drop. Again, I might be off base here a little bit, but that was
probably the third Justin Jefferson. Yeah, that's probably
what. No, it's a third Cooper Kupp. No.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll
see.
But,
that.
Yeah, probably will be.
Okay, well, I won't take up too much of people's time with that discussion. But if anybody's got any insight into the trophies, got any opinions, got any ideas of what they could do,
that'll prove you listen till the end.
Exactly.
Or you fast forward.
Prove you're real.
You get full credit either way.
Yeah. Well, either way, if you made it this far, we appreciate it.
And even if you didn't make it this far and you scrubbed ahead, we appreciate that too. So
yeah,
we're
down with that.
Yeah. All right. So, well, let's get the hell out of here. Let's let people get to their days, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.